We're playing a 2,000 point game. This is an Ulthwe based list. For troops, I've got 3 Guardian units, 1 on jet bikes with an attached Farseer, 2 in Wave Serpents, 1 with a scatter laser, the other is a Storm Guardian squad which has 2 flamers in it. We've got a 10-man Harlequin squad, a small Swooping Hawk squad, and a Shining Spear squad with an attached Autarch. And then we've got a Night Spinner and 2 Fire Prisms. This is more of an all-the-way Strike Force designed army, so I kind of went for a theme here.
Alright, so I've got my 2,000 point list here for today. We're trying out the Wraiths here. That's going to be one of the big things, the centerpiece of the army at the moment. Using Buddy Dan's miniature right now because mine is a work in progress, but hopefully it should do well with its D-cannon. I had a couple of Wraith Lords and a Night Spinner and heavy support, so hopefully that'll give me a strong backbone so I don't get absolutely annihilated in the first turn. Because otherwise I got Guardians, which are basically my meat shields at this point, and a squad of Wraith Guarded troops with the spirits here, a squad of Dire Avengers. Other than that, I got a squad of Howling Banshees and a squad of Warp Spiders, squad of Rangers. Most of my points are tied up into troops as usual. I got my Wave Serpent. Chances are the Dire Avengers are going to hopefully be able to make some shots off with the assistance of that. But it's a larger army than what I'm used to. Usually I have 2 Wraith Guard units, dropped 1 off. So I got a lot more bodies on the table. Hopefully that'll help me last longer.
We rolled up Infestation. My army counts as the Tyranids. Clay's, unsurprisingly, is the Defenders. And I will be going first on a roll of a 2 and up. 4. So I will be going first. Nothing much happened in the first turn. I did get off a really good shot with the Night Spinner that took out a large portion of Clay's army over here and put a bunch of them in dangerous terrain. Other than that, I pretty much just moved my army forward. Not a lot going on yet.
This turn I did as well as I could have hoped. First of all, at the start of Dan's turn, his Farseer took because of the warp, thankfully. He neglected to mention that.
Yeah, I forgot.
I deployed whatever I could in range to fire. Was able to not really kill anything. The jet bikes are going to be more obnoxious than anything else because they have so many invulnerable saves, rerolls, the Farseer making it annoying. But I was able to hit them with the Night Spinner. So they're going to be moving through dangerous terrain next turn. I was able to junk one of the Wave Serpents that unloaded a Guardian Defender squad that's pinned. One is his Fire Prisms is not going to be able to move or shoot next turn. Other than that, not really much in terms of damage. I gave my one of my Wraith Lords fleet of foot with the Wraith Seer, hoping that I could make it into close combat a turn earlier. Didn't quite make it though. But other than that, the stealth USR, due to the mission, is going to make life very difficult in shooting for me, so I'm hoping I'm going to fare very well in close combat.
As you can see, this has become the bulk of our battle right now. Moved in here and kind of vaporized the Guardian Storm Squad that was there. 2 flamers and a heavy flamer will do that. And I also took out Clay's Wraith Guard unit. It took the combined charge of a full squad of Harlequins plus a full squad of Shining Spears to do it, and Doom. Can't forget Doom. That
and the Autarch.
Really helpful. And the Autarch to do it, but it was worth it. I managed to splat his Farseer with the Autarch. The Swooping Hawks here managed just to stop that Wave Serpent from shooting because they botched the fleet of foot roll. The Harlequins also botched their fleet of foot roll, but it did work out because they did a lot of damage to that Wraith Guard squad.
My Wraith Guard unit disintegrated under the assault from the previous turn, but I got to countercharge with all my Wraith Lords, rather. The Shining Spears were great when they charged, but when they got hit again, there's nothing they could do against the Wraith Lords. My Howling Banshees made it up against the Harlequins. and managed to drive them off. They killed one more than they got killed. My Exarch made it out. It's hiding off in the corner. The Harlequins are on the run, but they're still above 50%, so they have a chance of regrouping. Unless I keep chasing them, but we'll see what happens there. I got a kill point from the Storm Guardians. They got vaporized after they destroyed my Storm Guardian unit from the Wraith Lord and the Guardian Defenders. I took out another jet bike with the Night Spinner, so they're under dangerous terrain right now. They passed their pinning test, so they'll be able to move still. His heavy support skimmers are still all in business. It's come down to a melee and everything's spread off again, so we'll see what happens next turn.
Okay, this game has become quite the bloodbath. This was actually a big turn for me, although I had a couple of units that couldn't regroup because they were too close to some of Clay's stuff. At this point, I'm hopefully giving him a choice where he can try and run them down, or hope they just don't regroup on their own and run off anyway and go after other stuff. I managed to, with a double charge, kill off one of the Wraith Lords. I managed to kill off the Pathfinders that were here, and I rammed the Night Spinner, which actually took the spinner cannon off. And I knocked these Guardians down to just 2 guys. I managed to wipe out the Dire Avengers thanks to a shot from the Fire Prism and the Exarch all alone breaking, unable to regroup. The Howling Banshee Exarch is still alive and being a pain, but you know, I can only deal with what I can deal with. And
there's very little left living on the battlefield. We got some skimmers. After being charged and losing the Night Spinner on my Night Spinner, the main gun, I then charged one of the Fire Prisms and took the Prism Cannon off of it. I'm keeping my Wave Serpent within 6 inches of those 2 retreating squads, so hopefully they'll just run off the table at the start of this turn. All the Guardians that were left, all the Storm or all the Defender Guardians died. The Wraith Lords took out his Guardian Defender squad that was sitting in the crater. My Banshee Exarch still cowering off in the corner, and just about the only threats left are the Night Spinner, which has limited use at this point, the Prism, or the second Fire Prism, which still has its cannon, and then this roving death squad of jet bikes. I don't know what I'm going to do with them yet, but that's about the only thing left I'm worried about. I hit the back of the Night Spinner with everything. I had a total of 3 penetrating hits, and he passed every skimmer moving fast save. The Howling Banshee Exarch had to take a series of armor saves. She made everyone. And that's pretty much it. I actually hit, I did damage, it's just, it didn't stick because of his saves. The bottom of turn 4, things are very spread out at this point, but my worst fighters, when I finally remembered to roll Deep Strike for them, they came on. They finished off this Fire Prism that didn't have the Prism Cannon left. My Wraith Seer was able to tag the other Fire Prism with its D cannon, and it can't move or shoot next turn. My Wave Serpent missed with its shot. Other than that, that's about all that happened.
Killed a bike.
Oh, I did kill a bike with
Shuriken catapults from the
Wraith Lord.
I doubt very much I'm going to have a chance to catch up. But I did manage to wipe out the Warp Spiders who downed that Fire Prism. I lost a guy to difficult terrain now. And that's pretty much the only thing I fired at. So, you know, at this point it's just bashing each other in the face and seeing who cries uncle first, which at this point looks like it's going to be me, with his bloody knuckles, I guess.
So, this is the bottom of turn 5. I wasn't quite able to finish off the Fire Prisms, but it has no guns, it can't move or shoot next turn, so if we continue, it's likely to die. Other than that, my Wave Serpent missed again, and that's about it. So, let's roll and see what happens.
Game continues.
5. Game continues.
Clay's pretty much about to win the game, but I have a moral victory in that I finally killed that Banshee Exarch, even though it was like 12 armor saves before Clay failed one on a questionably cocked die. And
then proceeded to make the other.
had he claimed it as cocked and I said, fine, whatever, he would have then actually made all those saves. But he was cool enough not to do that. And now I have at least a small moral victory.
Bottom of turn 6, and Wave Serpent missed again. Wraith Lords tag teamed the remaining Fire Prism. That's gone. It's a crater. Pretend there's a crater there. That's about all that happened. Time to roll the die again. And the game continues.
For one last freaking turn. Okay. Right here, there's a supreme lack of Clay's Night Spinner, because my Night Spinner flew through it and obliterated it, and amazingly didn't blow itself up. But now he's going to blow it up and get back in charge for this end
So
turn.
the final turn, my Bright Lamps missed again, and that was about all that was being capable of being done, and the game automatically ends now. It due to the Wave Serpent or the Night Spinner killing the other Night Spinner at the top of the turn. The game is now a draw, and there's very little left alive to tell the tale. So that's a wrap.
Okay.
Good game. For me, this game was mainly an experiment to see how the Wraithseer fared with the Forge World experimental rules for the next Imperial armor that's coming out. I had a chance to borrow Dan's model that he created, very well done model, and I would say my initial verdict after playing one game is that it's fairly balanced for its point cost. It's 235 with the D cannon that it had, so you're basically paying an extra 100 points for an artillery weapon on it. You get the option of the three psychic powers you can use on Wraithguard or Wraith Lord units, and you get an extra wound, you get an extra weapon skill, you get an extra attack, and it's also a greater Spirit Seer, which didn't necessarily come into play in this battle. Well, actually it did, because the Wraith Lords were unescorted for half the game. I would say that I would use it again, but not necessarily in every battle, because there's a lot of points. Other than that, it was a very surprising game. I thought as soon as the Wraithguard unit was destroyed on the charge, and I countercharged and wiped out that battle line, I thought the game was over. But he managed to limp along and wipe out a few more of my units to bring it into a tie. Overall, it was a very exciting game, and that's about all.
As Clay said, this game was a big test for the Wraithseer, who was, I thought, actually really good. He knocked down my cover saves by 1. Thankfully, I had stealth, so my cover saves were pretty much even the whole time. But when he had non-Wraith units shooting, that's where I could see the real bonus of what his removing that cover save did, because the stealth was real difficult for Clay to get through. Clay really had this game in hand early on, and I just got luckier than I thought I was, that the game kept going and dragging out, and I did some goofy stuff that ended up getting the kill points, like flying a perfectly capable tank into another tank for no reason, than for the fun of it, and it ended up working. So that's really what did it as far as the Wraithseer goes. I don't want to face one that much. So
how did your Shining Spears do?
The Shining Spears did excellent on the charge, and after that, not so excellent.